As we edge closer to what could be the 192nd chapter in the epic saga of Kuruluş Osman, the air is thick with anticipation. What trials, tribulations, and triumphs await Osman Bey and his people as they continue their sacred march towards establishing a just and enduring state? While the precise details of the immediately preceding episode remain under wraps for many, the very fabric of the series, its deep historical echoes, its unwavering focus on faith and resilience, and its portrayal of a leader who inspires through word and deed, gives us fertile ground for exploration. What grand designs might be unfolding, and what profound messages could resonate from Osman Bey's lips in this upcoming installment? Considering the immense journey thus far, by episode 192, Osman Bey's K banner would likely be flying over newly conquered lands, his influence spreading, yet this very success invariably invites greater challenges. Could we be on the cusp of witnessing a formidable new alliance of adversaries, perhaps a desperate coalition of Byzantine commanders and disgruntled regional powers feeling the noose tighten around their old ways? It's a recurring pattern. Every significant step forward for Osman Bey is met with an equally significant, often more complex, counter-effort. Might this new threat be different, perhaps more insidious, learning from the failures of those who came before them? What tactics could they employ that Osman Bey hasn't faced yet? We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. What kind of enemy do you foresee posing the biggest challenge at this advanced stage of Osman's struggle? Internally, the dynamics of a burgeoning state are always complex. With increased power and territory come increased responsibilities and, inevitably, differing opinions on the path forward. Could episode 192 delve into the internal pressures Osman faces? Perhaps the integration of new beys and their tribes, while strengthening the KE in one sense, also introduces new fault lines. Are all who shelter under Osman's banner truly loyal, or are there whispers of ambition, seeds of dissent sown by enemies seeking to fracture the growing unity from within? The series has never shied away from portraying the pain of betrayal, often from the most unexpected quarters. Might we see a trusted figure being tested, or a long-dormant rivalry flare-up, forcing Osman Bey to make a difficult choice that could redefine loyalty and justice within his domain? How do you think Osman Bey will navigate the delicate balance of expanding his influence while ensuring the integrity of his core council and allies? The development of Osman Bey's sons, Orhan and Alaeddin, and potentially other younger members of the KE leadership will surely be a significant threat. By this stage, they would be young men, perhaps already blooded in battle and taking on greater responsibilities. Could episode 192 showcase a pivotal moment for one of them, a test of their character, their strategic thinking, or their commitment to their father's ideals? The burden of legacy is a powerful theme. How might we see them grappling with the immense shadow cast by Osman Bey, and how might he, in turn, guide them, preparing them for the future he envisions but may not entirely witness? Will their approaches to challenges differ, perhaps hinting at the future complexities of the state they will inherit? What kind of trials do you believe are essential for the growth of the next generation of KE leaders? And then there are the inspirational speeches, the very heart of what captivates so many of us. What will be the clarion call from Osman Bey in episode 192? If facing a formidable external threat, his words will undoubtedly seek to galvanize his Alps, to remind them of their purpose, their faith, and the sacrifices of those who have fallen. We might hear him speak of the dreams of their ancestors, the imperative of justice, and the vision of a state that will be a beacon for the oppressed. The path is arduous, he might declare, his voice resonating with conviction. Our enemies are many, their deceptions are cunning. But stronger than their numbers, more potent than their treachery, is our faith in a just cause and the unbreakable bonds between us. Alternatively, if the central conflict is more internal, his speeches might take on a different tone. Perhaps a more solemn, introspective address to his beys, or a heartfelt appeal for unity and vigilance. He might speak of the corrupting nature of power, the dangers of ambition untethered from righteousness, or the subtle poisons that can weaken a strong body from within. A fortress can withstand the fiercest siege from without, he might say, but if its foundations are eaten away by discord and mistrust, it will crumble from its own weight. Let us be guardians not only of our borders, but of the integrity within our hearts and our councils. What specific themes do you anticipate Osman Bey will emphasize in his speeches in the upcoming episode, given the likely challenges? We'd love to read your interpretations in the comments. The role of the women, Bala Hatun, Malhan Hatun, and others will also continue to be crucial. Their strength, wisdom, and resilience have always been pillars supporting Osman Bey's endeavors. Could episode 192 present a situation where their counsel, their actions behind the scenes, or even their direct intervention proves decisive? perhaps a diplomatic entanglement where their acumen is needed, or a crisis within the tribe that they must manage while Osman Bey is occupied on the battlefield or in the political arena. The series often highlights their role not just as wives and mothers but as leaders and strategists in their own right. Might we see them taking on even more prominent roles in the administration or defense of their growing territories? Furthermore, the concept of Adalet justice is the bedrock of Osman's mission. Each new territory conquered, each new community brought under his protection presents fresh challenges in implementing this ideal. Could episode 192 feature a complex legal or moral dilemma that tests Osman Bey's commitment to justice, especially when it involves powerful interests or even those close to him? These moments are crucial as they define the character of the state he is building. Will he be forced to make an example, or will he find a path that blends mercy with unyielding principle? How do you think the series will continue to explore the complexities of establishing a just order in a tumultuous world? As we look towards episode 192, the narrative possibilities are vast, yet anchored in the established spirit of Kuruluş Osman. We can expect breathtaking action sequences, intricate political maneuvering, heartfelt moments of camaraderie and sacrifice, and of course, those powerful monologues from Osman Bey that stir the soul. The journey is far from over. New horizons will bring new enemies, new alliances will be forged in the crucible of shared struggle, and the dream of a world-spanning just state will continue to be pursued with unwavering determination. The question remains, what specific shade of these grand themes will this next episode illuminate? What particular challenge will push Osman Bey and his people to their limits, only to see them rise, inspired and resolute, once more? The story of Kuruluş Osman is not just a historical drama, it's an ongoing exploration of leadership, faith, and the indomitable will to build something that lasts. And episode 192 undoubtedly will be another significant step on that path. What are you most hoping to see? Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. As we eagerly await the 192nd episode of Kuruluş Osman, the embers of Osman Bey's ambition to forge a state are glowing hotter than ever. The events of episode 191 have set the stage for what promises to be a pivotal chapter, leaving us with numerous questions and possibilities. Osman Bey has lit the fire of conquest, and the K tribe is abuzz with preparations for a great campaign. New targets and fresh strategies are undoubtedly being drawn up. But what exactly will these entail, and how will the ever-present internal and external threats seek to undermine them? One of the most significant developments from the previous episode was Osman Bey's bold diplomatic, or perhaps not so diplomatic, foray into his nick. His meeting with Emperor Andronikos was far from a simple parley. When Osman Bey declares, "Give me Bersa and I will fight with my blood," he's not just making a demand, he's throwing down a gauntlet, speaking not merely as a tribal leader but as the head of a nascent world power. We saw Gladius, that arrogant and treacherous commander, seemingly brought to his knees. But is this truly the end of Gladius? Could his confrontation with Osman Bey and the Emperor have been a strategic retreat, or has his influence been genuinely neutralized? It makes one wonder, what will be the Emperor's next move after such a direct challenge and the apparent disgrace of one of his key commanders? Will he acquiesce, or will this spur him to rally even greater forces against Osman Bey? The conquest of Bersa is stated to be a matter of time, but the path to such a monumental victory is never straightforward. What new obstacles, perhaps from unexpected quarters, might arise to protect this Byzantine stronghold? We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. What do you believe will be the immediate Byzantine response to Osman Bey's audacity? Internally, the capture of Begum Hatun by Bala Hatun and her loyal women was a masterstroke. Bala Hatun, ever the strategist, orchestrated a plan that brought the vengeful Begum to justice. But what will be Begum's ultimate fate? Her actions have caused immense suffering and sown discord. Will she face swift justice, or could there be attempts to use her, perhaps as a pawn in a larger game or to extract information? The desire for her to pay for her crimes is strong, as many believe mercy to a tyrant is cruelty to the oppressed. How do you think Osman Bey will deal with Begum Hatun, and what will be the repercussions of her capture within the tribe and among her hidden sympathizers, if any remain? The shadow of the Mongol threat also looms larger, especially with the death of Kukür. While his cruelty has been met with Ottoman justice, his demise might create a power vacuum that the Mongols, particularly with the rumored arrival of Al-Qaeda Khan, could seek to exploit. What will the entry of a figure like Al-Qaeda Khan mean for the balance of power in Anatolia? Will he seek direct confrontation with Osman Bey, or will he employ more insidious tactics, perhaps trying to turn other Beyliks against the K? The Mongolian menace has always been a formidable force, and their strategies are often brutal and far-reaching. Could Turgut Bey's return be linked to countering this resurgent threat, given his vast experience? Speaking of Turgut Gotsi, his return to the Ke tribe after a long absence was a moment many of us anticipated. Initially arriving as a stranger, his recognition as Ertugrul Bey's Alp and Osman Bey's loyal companion brought immense joy and, undoubtedly, a significant boost to Ke morale and strength. The reunion between Osman Bey and Turgut Gotsi is not just a meeting of old friends, it's a reinforcement of the core values of loyalty and companionship that underpin the entire series. There's talk of Turgut becoming a new commander. What role will he specifically play in the upcoming campaigns and the administration of their growing territories? His experience is invaluable, but how will he integrate into the existing command structure, and what new dynamics will his presence bring to Osman Bey's Council of Beys? Then there's the situation with Orhan Bey and Halafira. Recent discussions and trailers hint at a possible farewell. Could Orhan Bey be embarking on a new mission, perhaps one that takes him away from the main theater of operations for a time? Or is this farewell of a more permanent nature, signifying a change in his path or a significant sacrifice? The relationship between Orhan and Halafira has been a subplot weaving through the grander narrative of conquest and state-building. If they are indeed parting ways, what will be the impact on Orhan's character and his future responsibilities? Osman Bey's sons, Orhan and Alaeddin, are both crucial to his vision. Alaeddin Bey, alongside Turgut Alp, was instrumental in destroying enemy forces recently. How will the distinct paths and strengths of Osman's sons continue to be developed as the dream of a state takes firmer shape? We'd love to hear your theories on Orhan's potential journey and what it might signify for the series. The call for the conquest of Bersa is louder than ever. From now on, there's no stopping us. Osman Bey has declared. This signals an intensification of the Ke efforts, a rallying of all available strength for this critical objective. But such a grand ambition will undoubtedly draw even fiercer opposition. As Osman Bey prepares for this major offensive, who among his allies will stand firm, and are there any who might waver or be tempted by enemy designs? The political landscape is a treacherous one, and loyalty is a currency often tested. Might we see new alliances forming, or old ones being strained to their limits as the stakes get higher? Consider the broader themes at play: the relentless pursuit of justice, the sacrifices inherent in leadership, and the unwavering faith that fuels Osman Bey's mission. Each episode builds upon these, showing us the complexities of founding an empire that is not just built on military might, but on principles and a vision for the future. As we look towards episode 192, how will these themes be reflected in the challenges Osman Bey and his people face? Will there be moments that test his resolve in new and profound ways? The fate of characters like Gladius and Begum Hatton may seem sealed, but in Kuruluş Osman, twists and turns are always a possibility. Could either of them have a final, desperate card to play? And what of the unnamed enemies, those lurking in the shadows, waiting for a moment of weakness? The establishment of a divan, a council to deliberate on matters of state, was a significant step. How will this institution be tested as the pressures of war and governance increase?